All right, all right. You guys, I did not realize we were going to end up in a part 3, but here we are. So let's really wrap this one up. I mean, we have him hitting the bullseye now with kind of wrapping his thoughts around everything, and we have him reaching toward happiness and healing for the first time, like ever. It's the first time we've really seen that Nine of Cups upright, except in part one when he had the realization that his Nine of Cups would have been with his star person, the person he didn't choose. He's finally at a place where it's like, oh my God, I have purged so much of the old version of me. Hi, guys. It's so nice to see you guys. Sorry for turning it into a three-parter. Um, but he's happy. I mean, he doesn't have his star person back. He simply is now at least aware of why he chose the wrong person or allowed himself to get coerced into staying with a karmic in the first place. That right there is a huge improvement. So are you leaving the karmic? Have you left the karmic? Where are we seeing you in this right now? We've got a Six of Swords, we've got the Three of Swords, and the cards are kind of like mushed across each other. Three of Swords is more upright though. Six of Swords is sideways. I would say he's already left the karmic and left a bunch of heartbreak behind. I think it's like, oh my God. And I think that bullseye card that we saw in part 2 was probably him purging this, because I said, okay, he's big mad. He's going through this whole thought process. And it's like when he got to the point of saying, I too was in a karmic cycle, right? I had to have been a King of Swords in the reverse to have even ended up, surrendering my autonomy and surrendering what I wanted in order to get coerced into something else. I think all of that and whatever heartbreak, he was living with and whatever made him more malleable, I feel like he's moved on from a lot of those scars. So that's amazing. What does that mean for you and your star person? We can see how incredibly important she has been to you in this entire process of you growing and changing and, slowly but surely transforming some things in your life. We literally have the Two of Wands again, which he has had frequently, but this time it's with the Six of Cups. And this Two of Wands shows these two lizards running side by side. Now I'm in the northern hemisphere, so it's fall, and everywhere you look, there's leaves on the ground. So, and rain and, weather. Sorry, hence my asthma acting up. So I would just say this is very much in the present moment, in this snapshot of time. He's right back at, I have a choice to make. Only this time he's aware, I really truly have a choice to make. And that is to hope that I can get a soulmate back, to hope that it's not going to be too late to talk to my star person. If you look, these lizards are actually against the backdrop of the night sky. Raise the cage. I don't know if you're out there, but this makes me think of Australia again. There's just something about this. I don't know. I guess because of the lizards or something, but it just reminds me of that. Anyway, we've got the Ace of Pentacles. Here he is starting his life over again. And if we remember all the way back in part 1, we had the Ace of Pentacles along with the Wheel of Fortune. And I should mention along with the Judgment card. So, and this was all pertaining to the idea of that star person, the person that he didn't choose, the person that he should have but didn't once upon a time. This could be that, anytime I see the image of the world, I always think of like the next upcoming year or certainly a new cycle. Now we have a timeline of like right now that he's realizing he has the choice to attempt to go back and glue the pieces of broken pottery back together in a relationship that he didn't choose with that star person. This would be his new beginning. And it could make his entire life look very different, especially by 2026. Let's take another peek here. Hi guys, nice to see everybody. Queen of Swords, Princess of Wands. That star person, as I said, could have been an Aquarius, so this could certainly be her. We see big change because we got this vortex of energy opening up in the sky. With the Queen of Swords here, It's by winter time, I think. It's got to be snowy wherever she is. That's where he's ready to like speak to her. This could be him either reaching out, sending a message. This is like, the sky is opening up and finally at long last there's real action. This is like taking the first step on a big journey. Even here we have a bird flying. Birds are migratory creatures, so I feel like this is him returning into her world. What are you going to say to her? I mean, it's going to be a tough one because you got a lot to say to her probably. The Lovers. I should have chosen you at the beginning. There wasn't a time when I didn't want to choose you, but I'm, trying to choose you now. We get the Eight of Pentacles. We got the Sun. Oh my God. He's selling this pretty solid, right? Two cards that both have two people side by side. I would just suggest probably what his words are going to be something to the tune of, like, if you give me another chance, I could make you happy. I would work very hard to make you happy. This feels like he just has not been, up until now, he's not been able to like join her in the way she lives her life, listening more to the flow of the universe, listening to her intuition, listening to her truth and her higher self. This, honestly, him reaching out to her has much more joy in it, though. It's not like hangdog deep apologies. It's more like, I just want to be happy now and with you. Nine of Cups, upright, depth of emotion. There wasn't ever a time when he wasn't still spying on her. I think she helped him more so than any other thing, all the while he stayed with a karmic. What do you got to say about the fact that you stayed with a karmic? You notice that's not really being talked about. It's just like, I should have chosen you. I choose you now. With the Seven of Swords and the Two of Swords, and this Seven of Swords is a very different one. Normally this is liar, liar, pants on fire, right? He's not lying to her about anything. He's trying to find a way to decipher how to explain, why would I have stayed with a karmic? This has been very hard for him to decipher. Why did I keep living a lie? He's not, it's so crazy because it's almost like he's talking about something that happened to somebody else. I think that's why he's not coming in hangdog and super like, I'm so sorry, I hurt you and I didn't pick you. And no, it's not that. It's almost like, can you believe that guy? That guy, I was him, but can you believe? So weird. Why would I have done that? Why would I have lived a lie? It was so hard to translate that, like, I had to break a pattern. I had to cut myself free of a pattern. There was something, it almost feels like he is going to kind of be in the same boat with her. Like, yeah, I can't believe that bullshit happened. Even though he's the one who did it, it was such a weird space in his life. For him to have had that bullseye moment in part 2, where he's looking at what his life was and how on earth did I stay stuck, and I'm pissed off that I let other people take my time and my energy and literally years of my life so they could either have the life that they thought looked good or whyever they wanted me to do stuff. I don't know how I allowed that to happen to me, other than, man, I was a train wreck back then with the King of Swords in the reverse. I was in my own karmic cycle. This wasn't ever like, oh, I love this karmic, I really want her instead of the other person. This is like somebody who literally had their mind all kind of twisted up. I don't know if they stayed for the sake of duty, if they stayed for the sake of it looked better to stay married. I don't know what it was, but they are saying, man, can you believe that guy that used to be me? It's so hard for me to wrap my head around why I let myself live a lie, because it was all a lie. It's a very difficult storyline for me to kind of explain, because it sounds like we're just giving him a pass. Like, oh yeah, you're not responsible for the things that you did. And that's never the case, right? But I will say, this whole storyline has been a tough one also, because we're talking about like somebody who got really pushed into a situation that wasn't even true for themselves. And at that time, they probably weren't healthy enough, and maybe they didn't know any other way. and they almost had to meet somebody that they wanted, not end up with that person, experience what it feels like to know better, but to ignore your instinct and your intuition and go down that same pattern that you have been trained in, knowing full well it's wrong. It's like that almost had to happen for him to ever actually break free and become his own person. So this is less of a story about like, well, we're giving somebody a pass. They're not responsible for anything that they've said or done. No, it's not that. The bigger story here is we're watching a character who finally breaks a pattern and what that looks like from their side of it on the inside. And I would say, honestly, I'm just so happy for this character. I don't even know if anything else matters. It's just like, thank God they finally broke away from whatever isn't true, you know? Okay, let's ask, what does the star person think about all this? 9 of coins, 8 of coins. All this time, she's been very mature about the whole thing and said, I mean, I know he got coerced by the wolf pack again. We saw that in part 2. But here she is saying, I've built a great life for myself in my silky pajamas and satin, beautiful house. And I've worked really hard and I love the life I've built for myself. She may actually be single right now. Not saying she's been nothing but single, but she may be single right now and actually loving her life. 2 of Swords, she may have to fight with herself about whether or not she wants to let him back in. That could be possible. The Lovers. She is arguing with herself. My life is good. Do I invite this person back in? There's a lot of other lovers out there. It doesn't need to be him, but if I want to choose him, it'll be my choice. We've got layers of moons here, right? And it makes me think she's asking herself those deeper questions. Have I always wanted him back? We got the stars and the galaxy up above. This is her moment to say, I have to ask myself, what do I really want? I can't lie to myself about this. Do I still want him? I think I would have to say there's a piece of her that absolutely still does, even though that would be a very tough thing to be like, well, so you didn't pick me, but now you come back and I'm supposed to pick you. The only thing is this story is actually bigger than that, if that makes sense at all. Hanged Man. I like the fact that she's not trying to force herself to make any decisions. Because, I mean, I don't know, like, what is the best choice for her? Only she knows. Only she can decide, right? 10 of Coins. What she's thinking about is her long-term happiness. So she's pausing and she's probably going to tell him, I don't know what to say to you yet. I don't know what my answer would be. I need to think about stuff. The fact that she's thinking about partnership, longevity, building a relationship with somebody, she might be ready for that in her life also, especially if she's been single and been building something for herself. There is the 6 of Pentacles. She is ready for a partnership. The 10 of Coins, the 6 of Coins, both of this says she's ready. She's ready to have a relationship with him. Okay. Or with somebody, let's put it that way. And we have the 8 of Cups. She's aware if I walk away from him and in truth I wanted to still be with him, then I would literally be choosing exactly that. I'll be walking away and I'll be now seeking somebody else entirely different. What do I do? Do I walk away and I say, nope, this is where the buck stops for us. This is my closure and I want somebody else entirely different? She's standing here in front of the moon, again, asking her deeper self, because this is kind of the make it or break it moment for her. Thank you so much, YouTube watcher. Brian, you're so sweet. Thank you. You're so generous. Thank you so much, you guys. What do I do? What do I really want? A lot of thought for her. And it makes perfect sense because she always understood why he did what he did. But also, now they're coming back in. And it's like, have I been put on layaway all this time? And you ready to check me back out of layaway now? That's not what the situation is, and she knows that. But I think it's really good that she's asking herself these questions. Like, can I go into this with like a clear heart and love this person and give them a second chance in my life? I think with the Princess of Cups, because this would be the Page of Cups in any other deck, there is something about, you notice how she's right next to all of this kind of like crystals and some underwater like anemones and such. And there's pearls. This is a card of accepting an apology. I kind of think she's saying, if I'm meeting a new version of them, the version of them they needed to become in order to be able to match with me, and they weren't that person, then it's not me that was put in layaway. It was them who had to keep, like, let's say, taking some summer classes to finish so they could graduate and then they could go to college with me. It's like, it's more like lessons that had to be thoroughly learned. She didn't have that same lesson. She'd already aced the class of know who you are and pick your life and choose for yourself. She already was picking her own life for herself. They hadn't learned that piece yet. And I think if anything, it's like, okay, so let me not think of myself as being like their second fiddle or the person that they choose after they didn't choose me because I'm somehow second rate or something. Let me think instead, they couldn't step into my world. They had to stay right where they were until they finished some lessons and they brushed up and they needed to step up to me. So I wasn't second rate. They were not mature enough or ready enough or what do you call it, varsity league yet, and I'm varsity, so they had to be able to get their skills up so they could match me. That flips the whole thing completely. And in this storyline, that is what it was, right? They were trapped in their own karmic cycle of not being able to choose for themselves what they wanted. I kind of think maybe that's why, if she's going to have a do-over with them, we have the Chariot. This is moving forward with the bones of the past being the past. Here we have this little crab that cracks me up because it's floating through the sky with a pearl necklace on. Don't ask me why, but that just always busts me up every time I see that. I actually think that these two are going to start from scratch, from the very, very, very beginning. And I don't know that the past, after she thinks through all of this, I don't think the past matters anymore. Also, her life has been terrific. It's not like them not being in her world has actually hampered her happiness. We saw she's been killing it. She's been doing great. So I kind of think that at this point, it's like, well, I can't say that them not being with me somehow devastated and destroyed me. It didn't. I've been great. Now they're ready to be with me, but I get the upgraded varsity level version of them, the 5.0 version. They're ready to be in my world. Then maybe this is a hell yeah, this works. So let's move forward and see how this thing goes. I see her giving this a shot. All right, I am going to leave this one here because remember that card of, like the Chariot, that could be her moving on also. I don't know. Whatever she chooses, it'll be the right choice for herself because she's given this some deep thought. I like the fact that she's not a character that we have to worry about. She's not going to do something that isn't true for herself because she knows herself well and she doesn't get blindsided or coerced into other things. Anyway, that's how I'm going to leave that one. Hey, sweet. Nice to see you. Chrissy, thank you again, sweetheart. You're so kind. Carol, wonderful to catch you, babe. Christy, thank you again, sweetie. Thank you for being here. Ah, that's well said. Well said, Brian. Love that. Yeah. Air bubble. Hi, honey. Who that? Nice to see you. Jeannie Vale, thank you so much, sweetheart. Raise the cage. Hi, sweetie. And I didn't get a chance to welcome you. Hi, honey. I saw right as I jumped out of part one, it was too late. I was already clicking the button, but I didn't get to say welcome. Welcome to the membership, sweetheart. That means you can access any of the members' videos and just know that we do little things in the members' corner. I always pick a couple winners every week, so I don't want you to miss out. So there's a members playlist that you can click on, and in that playlist, you will see every Monday we add to it. Also, tomorrow I'll add a couple of Aries video clips too. But thank you so much, sweetheart, and welcome. Bright Pink Hero Green, hi, honey. AJSRVIM, wonderful to see you. Small TV, hi, sweetie. Gabriela Ramondo. Hi, hon. Anna Lay. You're so sweet. Thank you. Empress Unicorn 111. Hi, sweetie. Nemo. Hi. Italian Stallions in the house. Wonderful to see you, babe. Hang on. Sarwat Nawaz. Please forgive me. I know I just made a mess of your name, but thank you so much for being here. I apologize for getting it botched. I'm sure that I did. I don't mean to. Is it Sarwat? Did I say that right? I hope. Anyway, welcome, sweetheart. And thank you. Hi, Louise. Melissa Estes, Nikki O. Dwayne Anderson. Hi, honey. I saw you there in part 2 and I didn't get a chance to say hi to you. And Carol, you were first in the house in this part 3. Thank you, guys. Oh my God. Thank you, Ginger. You're so generous. Thank you, babe. That's so sweet of you. All right, you guys. Thanks again. I'm going to bounce on over to the other channel. Actually, no, I'm not. I'll be on the other channel at midnight. But right now I'm going to do a Cancerian video on this channel. All right, you guys. Take care. Bye for right now.